Previously on The Collected. She was looking at Joel with that vast and patient attention, the attention of something that had all the time in every world. Sigrun stood by the window, the highway light cutting across her face, her eyes already moving, already reading the room, the bottle, the silent phone, the untouched bag, the 17 missed calls she could see without looking at the screen. Joel didn't see them. He was staring at the ceiling. Then he blinked, sat. Evelyn Marsh was 94 years old and had been awake since 4 in the morning, because that was simply what you did when you were a baker. The fact that she had retired 17 years ago was, in her opinion, completely beside the point. The kitchen smelled like butter and cardamom, and something warm underneath both, something that had soaked into the walls over 60 years of early mornings. Her husband had built this kitchen. The shelves were slightly crooked, and she had never straightened them. She was making cinnamon rolls. Not for any occasion. You didn't wait for occasions. You made the thing. You put it in front of people. That was the whole secret to most of life. She was sliding the tray into the oven when she became aware of the 2 women at her kitchen table. She looked at them over her shoulder, a good long look. Then she closed the oven door, set the timer, and sat down across from them. "Well," she said, "I wondered when you'd show up." Hell sat at the table with that enormous stillness, the shadows in the kitchen gathering at her edges, the lamp over the table casting its light in a slightly smaller circle than it should have. One side of her face pale as the flower on the counter, the other dark and deep and old. She regarded Evelyn with those flat, lightless eyes, and the regard had weight, not cruelty, but the specific gravity of something that was paying complete attention. Hell was looking around the kitchen. Her eyes moved across the shelves, but the focused inventory she brought everywhere, reading the room, reading the person, building the record. "You have a great many cookbooks," said Hell. "Too many. I keep buying them for the pictures." Evelyn folded her hands on the table, spotted and stiff, and she was proud of every line. "Which of you is which?" "I govern the whole of the quiet dead," said Hell. "I choose the honored fallen," said Sigrun. Evelyn considered this. "So one of you thinks I'm quiet, and one of you thinks I'm honorable." "We haven't decided," said Hell. Evelyn looked at the oven. 41 minutes. "You'll have to wait regardless. I'm not leaving before those come out." Sigrun looked at Hell. Hell looked at Evelyn. Nobody argued. "Are you afraid?" Sigrun asked, genuinely curious. "Of dying? No. I've been afraid of plenty of things. Dying stopped being one of them about 10 years ago. A little sad about the garden. Tulip bulbs in that I won't see come up." "Red and yellow," said Sigrun. "The ones in the far bed." She said it the way she said everything, precise, certain, from the record. "They'll be extraordinary." Evelyn looked at her. "Can you see that?" "I see many things." "That's a kindness," Evelyn said simply. "Thank you." Sigrun looked slightly uncomfortable, the way people do when they've been kinder than they meant to be. "Is it like sleeping?" Evelyn asked. She was looking at Hell. "It's like coming home," said Hell, "to a home you didn't know you remembered." "He'll be there, my husband?" Something moved in Hell's expression, deep below the surface, a shift in something vast. He is not the waiting sort, so he has been keeping busy. Evelyn laughed, sudden and real, surprised out of her. No, he never could sit still. She shook her head. Sounds about right. The timer went off. Evelyn looked at it, then at Hell. They'll burn. I know. My granddaughter. She'll find the recipe, said Hell. The blue notebook, 3rd shelf. She'll make them herself every Christmas for the rest of her life. They won't be the same. She'll make them anyway. Evelyn stood, smoothed her apron, looked around her kitchen, the crooked shelves, the stacked books, the first grey light coming through the window. She looked at it the way you look at something you made and tended and loved. All right then, she said. Hell rose. Sigrun crossed the kitchen and turned off the oven. She stood there a moment with her back to the room. Then she walked out into the blue morning, and the kitchen was quiet and warm and smelled like something wonderful, and the light came through the window and landed on the crooked shelves, and that was enough. On the next episode of The Collected. The father, Hell said. The others will survive. Sigrun's face didn't change. She laid the record down the way she always did, steady, precise, because the record mattered even when it didn't change the outcome, especially then. Military service, 2 tours, a commendation. He carried a wounded man 4 miles. He's 41 years old. His children are 7 and 4.